Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, and I'm here with Daniel Skeljam, who is the CEO of Hurtigruten Group. And we've talked to Daniel in the past. They have a wonderful cruise line, does expedition cruises and, of course, Norwegian coastal voyages. But they have made some big news today, and we're going to talk to him about that news and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Daniel, first of all, how are you? It's good to see you.
Likewise, James. I am good, and I hope you're the same. I'm sitting in beautiful London today. It's nice fall weather, and the only thing that could be better was if I was on board one of our ships.
I agree, and you just were on that. You're telling me, but let's first remind us what Hurtigruten Group is today, including your sort of two main units. And you don't have to name them yet because that's part of the news. But what does your cruise operation look like today?
So Hurtigruten Group is most well known for the coastal voyage. That's the traditional voyage, the working ship on the Norwegian coast that started in 1893. Then we have our expedition unit that's grown to 6 ships, sailing everywhere from Svalbard, Greenland, Alaska, Canada, via Galapagos to Antarctica. We're starting Western Africa, Cape Verde, a lot of places around the world. We have a land-based unit with high-end hotels and tour operation up on Svalbard, restaurants, really high-end restaurants. And we also own 25% of our friends and partners in Ecuador Metropolitan Touring, which is in addition to the group over the last years.
Yeah, I remember when that happened, and I've actually gone to Galapagos with Metropolitan Touring. They do a great job. They're probably one of the first ones there. Now we're going to talk about the big news today, which is that you are changing the names of both of your sort of main units. They have been called up till now Hurtigruten Expeditions and Hurtigruten Norway. But tell us, what are those new names?
So the big news, James, is that we're changing name on the Hurtigruten Expeditions units to HX. Which will stand for Hurtigruten Expeditions. So it's not as complex as it sounds, but HX is the new name of the Expeditions unit, which we're very, very happy with. Hurtigruten Norway goes back to the roots of Hurtigruten. Right. So this simplifies our brand structure, and the key ambition we have with doing this move is that it's going to get us away from the problem we've had over the last years where everyone thinks that this is all the same. Right. And everything is referred to as Hurtigruten, when in reality, it's two very different companies delivering the guest experience in a very different way, in very different regions, for a very different source market, and with very different T&Cs for the travel advisors. So this is clarifying the structure, and we're very confident that this will make it easier for everyone to relate to the different products within the group.
Okay, I was thinking you were taking a page out of Elon Musk by changing your name to X, but that's
oh yeah, we saw that coming, and HX Hurtigruten Expeditions is not taking it that far, but
thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
Yeah. Now, all right. So that's great. So it does clarify it. I agree with you there. And why did you decide to do it right now? And actually, it's going to be effective in December, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be effective commercially in December. That's when you'll start the new logo, the new look and feel to come into the commercial space. We want to present it now because we want our partners and travel advisors to have some time to get accustomed to it, and also for us to reach out and tell the story to everyone who are very close to Hurtigruten and become close to Hurtigruten over the last year. So this gives a nice transition period up to we start using the new branding in December. We also plan to use HX Hurtigruten Expeditions for another 12 to 15 months in order to really transition to purely HX towards the end. And at the same time in December, Hurtigruten Norway goes back to Hurtigruten, which is not a big, massive change, but it's clarifying it. It's making it easier to relate to.
Right. Now, you changed the name here in the U.S. commercially to Hurtigruten a few years back. I think it must be 10 years ago. I can't remember exactly. It was a while ago. And I remember everybody was surprised. I think it was Norwegian coastal voyages before that. I'm not sure, because you went through a few name changes. It never changed in Europe. I mean, because you were still Hurtigruten. Do you think the Hurtigruten name still resonates here in the U.S. market?
Yeah, I think it will resonate for what it is. It hasn't worked as well as we were hoping on Expeditions because, again, it's been referred to as the same company and the same product. Whereas now, when Hurtigruten is getting its independence brand-wise, so to speak, I think it will tell a very, very good story on the working ship on the Norwegian coast that it is so well known for. Whereas HX will work better to explain a very high-end global expedition experience coming from the same routes on the Norwegian coast back in 1896. So I think it will work much, much better. And, Hurtigruten means in Norwegian the fast route.
Right.
And that goes back to, they started in 1893. It was a very, very fast route. Today, it's the opposite of a fast route. It's a very slow route. But it's going back to the roots for that name. So, but it's a bit difficult to pronounce, but that also makes it stick better.
Well, after 10 years, I finally got it. So it took me a little while, but I know Hurtigruten, and I say that. And I thought when you first introduced that name, it would have been great to have like a TV commercial with everybody in the U.S. trying to pronounce it and see what happens.
I did a commercial on that a year ago on playing on the name and how you were supposed to pronounce it. But it's a very hard name to pronounce for most people except Norwegians.
Yeah, well, I do like the name. I've grown to like it a lot. It wasn't as just straightforward as your old original name, but it's great that you're making this change. Now, let's just review again. What you had 6 ships dedicated to the expedition unit, the HX brand, and then how many for the now called Hurtigruten unit for the coastal?
So it's 9 ships for the coastal unit. It's actually 8 as we speak, but they will have a 9th from January. And what we also do with this move is that some of the capacity that Hurtigruten Expeditions, now HX, has deployed to the Norwegian coast will go over to Hurtigruten. And Hurtigruten Expeditions will redeploy some of the capacity on the Norwegian coast to more expeditionary destinations like Antarctica. So that's also in the process of happening, and there's not going to be a lot of overlap on the Norwegian coast between the two companies and brands.
Now, how many ships total will be in the HX brand?
6.
So it'd still be 6, and those are some of your newest ones, right? The ones that are the hybrid electric, those things. So
Roald Amundsen and Fridtjof Nansen were 2 newest ships, the world's first hybrid electric battery-powered ships. Will stay in the Hurtigruten Expeditions fleet.
Fantastic. Now, what about the executive structure? I recently interviewed Hedi Fallin, who is your Hurtigruten in Norway, now just Hurtigruten, your CEO, and then I think you're now overseeing the HX brand, right?
Yeah, so Hedda will continue as CEO for Hurtigruten Norway, becoming Hurtigruten, and she's built a great management team. She has her own separate commercial organization that is dedicated to work only on the Hurtigruten company and brand. And in addition to being group CEO, I also gone in to take the helm on Hurtigruten Expeditions, becoming HX. And building that up to the level we want to have it. So I'll have a dual role for the upcoming period.
Okay, great. Now, are you going to have different websites for them, or are you still just going to be under Hurtigruten?
Absolutely. And at the moment, it's a split website under hurtigruten.com, where you either choose Expeditions or Norway. It will be completely separate ecosystems, completely separate websites, and that's something which is in the process of being rolled out to the markets by December. Late December is the plan. And also, we're going to expect to see 15-20% overlap between the two companies on the guest base, which we're absolutely welcoming. We think that Expeditions might be a good way in for many new customers, new guests to the group's products. And they can evolve to the working ship on the Norwegian coast if they so desire. And it's also going to be some guests from the Norwegian coast who want to expand their horizons with expeditions around the world. So we think, but it's not going to be a more of an overlap than 50-20% is our expectations. And we hope to, through HX, build a brand where people can go time after time after time and find a brand they love. They love the sustainability, the product, all the people involved in delivering a very, very high standard, but delivered in a very nice and casual, comfortable way. And we see that guest feedback coming from the ones who are aboard us. They love the laid-back style of delivery. They love the science centers. They love the knowledge, and they love the passion amongst the crew members, and not the least, they love to know that they can visit these destinations, which are off the beaten track, which are sensitive, with a company that takes the region very seriously when it comes to the communities we visit, but not least how we impact the climate and nature in the areas that we visit.
And again, you made the point earlier that HX is actually going to be doing more than just Antarctica and the Arctic. You're going to be doing, as you said, I think West Africa, things like that, right?
Yeah, the two newest destinations for HX is warm water destinations, Galapagos. Right. And we have Santa Cruz 2 sailing, full year sailings to Galapagos. We have Spitsbergen, one of our ships, starting sailings to Bichagos and Cape Verde on Western Africa already in November. So it's a lot of new destinations, new exciting destinations coming to the market that will complement our portfolio of destinations in the Arctic and Antarctica.
Now, how will you be rolling out this rebranding? How will you be promoting the new brands, and what's the campaign going to look like?
So we will do a slow introduction. We will bring it commercially to market by end of the year. We hope to create some new materials for our travel advisors to really tell the story on HX and get the separation between Hurtigruten and HX right. We hope to create some good material for our partners. That will help them, and we will also spend a bit of money on getting the brand known. But hopefully, with the followers we have on the brand, it should go pretty easily, and they'll recognize the same good product delivery, the same way of integrating science, knowledge with a high-end, exciting product. So they recognize everything on board the ships. It's only the brand which will change.
Absolutely. Now, we're looking forward to that. Now, is there anything else you want to tell now we have about 126,000 Travel Advisor readers out there about your rebranding move, and is anything more they should know about it?
Yeah, I think what is a key message to the Travel Advisor community is that through this change, it's not only a brand change, but it is also a change in distribution where HX will move towards more distribution through Travel Advisors. Across the group, we've historically been around 50-50. But through this move, we want to reach out to the travel community and travel advisor community in North America and open up for an even closer collaboration. And we hope as many travel advisors as possible can also open up for expedition cruises. It's a fantastic way to experience the world. And I think they will see that bringing people in who's not been on a cruise before, they will love the product, but also if they bring in people who's been on 30, 40 cruises, right, they will equally say, wow, I didn't know this existed. I should have known this before. So hopefully we, through this rebrand, can also help the travel advisor community to get to know the sector, the segment better. And it's also clear for us that we want to improve our terms and conditions and make it even more competitive than it is today for the travel advisors to book a trip with HX.
Fantastic. Well, Daniel, congratulations on the new rebranding. We'll look forward to seeing as you roll it out through December. And again, one of these days I got to get on one of your ships up to, actually, I want to go to the coastal one, actually. I want to go up to Svalbard and places like that. But I also sounded that some of those other trips sound intriguing as well on HX. So good luck with the rebranding, and we'll look forward to even more from HX and Hurtigruten.
Thank you very much, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.